So you are going to see me quite regularly in my Ultra uniform. My shirt landed, and this is the charity, the Bali Children's Foundation, who I'm raising money for. This is the event, Bali Hope Ultra, and this is my name, just in case I forget it. Possibly at the 84K mark, but hopefully not along the way. Anyway, I digress. Today's Ultra AHA has come about because I have a lot of time to reflect when I'm out on the road, and it's only going to get more and more from here. I think we're at the 13 weeks to go. When you watch this, it'll be just under. And so today I want to just share about a reflection I had, which was a pondering about why is it that I like to do challenging things. And of course, because I asked that question, I then wanted to look into it further and look at the psychology behind it, because that always fascinates me. My personal answer for why I like to do challenging things is because I know it's always been something that's been part of my personality. And my mother would tell you it was a very frustrating part of parenting me in my younger years. She just knows now in my older years, you just let me go. And there have certainly been times in my life where my mother has tried to stem my energy about certain pursuits. And I do distinctly remember at one time with one of my business dealings that I was taking on, I just said to her, look, I don't know, Mum. I just suppose I've got a hell of a lot more energy than other people. That did lead me to a burnout, but it also led me to the path I'm now on. So, that's one of the things about challenging yourself, isn't it? You get to know more about what you're capable of. So when I looked into the psychology, there are three things that came up that I thought could be interesting for you to know about why it is that some humans, but realistically a lot of humans do actually like to challenge themselves. One thing was because when we challenge ourselves, it actually opens up new opportunities. And I know that that has absolutely been the case. It's the case for this Ultra. I am mixing with, at the moment, it's all via WhatsApp. But when we have the whole week in Bali together, I have no doubt there are going to be some pretty significant relationships established with people from all across the world and all different spheres of life. And that really does light me up. I know in my previous pursuits of challenges, that's also what happened. It led to other opportunities, some in business, in my professional sphere, and some in my personal sphere. So I suppose what I'm putting forward is three different reasons other than the physicality of the challenge or the mental part of the challenge that you're taking on. Because, of course, when we do challenge ourselves, we do grow and adapt into a new person. But beyond that, what is it? So number one was about new opportunities and expansion in that. A second thing is that these challenges that I take on and other people I know have taken on, it's very much about learning skills that you can bring into your everyday life. And that's absolutely been the case with my other cycling challenges, and also already in the 12, 13 weeks, 14 weeks I've been doing the training for the Ultra. I absolutely know my patience levels, my resilience levels with some other work I'm doing outside of the Ultra, so in my business life and in my investing life. There is a resilience to my day-to-day operations that I'm really starting to notice. And I would have thought I was someone who already had developed some pretty high levels there. It's just adding to that, which is really nice. The other piece to this about the physical challenge mirroring other parts of your life is confidence. Because when you achieve in any sphere of your life, and it could be doing your version of an Ultra, it could be actually doing it in your professional field and then bringing that into your physical health. Whenever we do have that boost to our confidence there, it comes across our whole life. It sort of permeates the rest of our life. And that's really cool, because it's nice to know that we can take our attention away from an area that we might feel stuck in, go over here and attempt something challenging and grow and adapt, and know that it will help us in this other sphere of our life. And it is a really strong tactic to do mentally. So it's about a confidence boost and about being able to handle more challenging things throughout your whole life. So that's number 2. Now, the third one I actually loved when I came across it. And I have to say it was a bit challenging to find a lot of research about challenging ourselves as humans. I'm not really 100% sure why that was the case, maybe where I was looking. But this third and final one is research that was recently done, which definitely found that challenging yourself will curb anxiety and depression. Now, the research that was done on this was done doing a challenging maths problem, not a physical one like an ultra, but doing the challenging maths problem. They did, they assessed with the fMRIs and looked at the brain activities. And when you these participants did the challenging maths problem, they found it lit up areas of their prefrontal cortex, which they know that when they are lit up quite strongly, your propensity for anxiety and depression is lowered. So that makes a lot of sense to me too. And what the researchers were now going to start looking into is that if someone does have a background with anxiety and depression, they're looking at adding challenging tasks alongside using cognitive behavior therapy and other therapies where you actually really address the anxiety and depression sort of head on. And they're also saying as complementary to that, then also adding challenging tasks. And that makes sense to me, because there's the most beautiful documentary on Netflix I watched recently about very, very, I was going to say damaged, and I suppose it is in a sense, war soldiers in the States who've returned from Afghanistan with significant injuries, but mental and physical, and high levels of PTSD, and they are being taken through surfing programs. And so if you're anyone like me who's learning to surf, that is a really challenging physical activity. There's a lot of problem solving to get your body up. And in this case, there are a lot of people with missing limbs, and it was incredible to see how they were physically getting themselves in a position to be able to surf a wave. And what they noticed through their activity was that the more these men and women were in the water doing that task regularly, it took, I want to say this in a different space, it took their mind off. It gave their brain a break from everything that's going on with the PTSD. And it's, you know, it's now funded by the US government. I know it's happening in Australia as well. So it's really good to know that going out there and challenging yourself on whatever that is for you. Just because I'm doing an ultra, it does not mean you've got to have an ultra and a physical pursuit. But if I suppose the thing I want to sort of say to finish up, if you look at what I'm doing and there's a part of you goes, oh yeah, that's okay, because that's Bella and I know she's got a background with doing challenging physical pursuits. I'm going to call bullshit that you can't do this yourself. Not necessarily this ultra. This is my choice of challenge for now. But what is it that you would love to challenge yourself? It can be as small physically as doing Sudoku regularly. It could be as small, realistically, as challenging yourself to go and talk to a stranger one day a week. I don't know what it is, but what is it that would light you up to prove to yourself that you can do something challenging for you will grow and help you adapt. But more excitedly, grow all the neural pathways in your brain, particularly in midlife and beyond. Because that's really what this is all about. It is all about challenging yourself to be the most you can possibly be based on what inklings you have in your mind and in your heart to do. So I'm curious to know if this has actually stirred something up for you. And if it has, don't hesitate to direct message me and share with me what it is that you would dearly love to do. And, you know, I've got so many free resources out there to help people that want to level up into a new challenge. So I welcome any feedback on this. I wish you a wonderful Sunday, and go out and have a beautiful time.